Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, Darren. You caught me there with that slightly unusual intro.
So I've realised that this morning I paid for some gourmet dog treats and left them on the stall at the farmer's market.
Which define gourmet.
Well, I guess I'm doing something that I also sort of, a lot of people do, which I don't like, which is constantly complain about the price of things, because, I mean, things go up, it's inflation. And I think sometimes, like, how long can you go on about the price of a pint? I mean, it just does go up, and just £5 doesn't mean what it used to mean.
No.
And then £10 doesn't mean what it used to be. There's a constant readjustment through your life.
Yeah.
I mean, also, obviously, inflation can be really high, and you can say, "Wow, inflation's high."
Yeah.
I don't think that is what some people are doing when they discuss these things. I think sometimes people are just going, I don't know. It's like talking about the fucking weather or something. It's like, just buy me a pint and shut up.
Have you got a beer on the go at the moment?
No, I haven't. I was considering trying to do a dry day, but I might need a drink now to get over my gourmet. What you asked? What do I consider gourmet? I consider £5 for a bag of dog treats gourmet, I suppose.
Right. Okay.
So what I was going to do was going to complain about the price of them. But get this, over at the farmer's market, £4 for a donut. £4
for what?
A donut.
Oh my god! You're a fucking donut if you buy that.
Yeah.
I'm off the beer.
Off the beer?
Off the booze. Yep.
But just for a little experiment, see how it goes.
Doctor's recommendations.
Oh dear, I'm sorry.
Is this horrible, isn't it? Nothing bad. Not really, I don't think. I was kind of getting palpitations, feeling like particularly strong heartbeats. So I went to the doctor, because it was quite noticeable, and it hadn't really gone away. So I thought, I feel all right, but maybe I should go and speak to the doctor about it. And they said a sentence that I think possibly the worst sentence I've ever heard, which was, try cutting down on alcohol and caffeine. I think it's the cruelest thing you could ever say to somebody. So that's what I'm doing.
Is it that they? Yeah. If you could live without one of those two, which would it be?
Booze.
You would prefer a life with caffeine?
Yeah. Already, it's been easy to cut out the booze. To not drink coffee is just horrendous. I'm still drinking coffee. I'm going to switch to decaf when I've used up the coffee that we've got in the house, and see if that makes a difference. But I have noticed it does seem to have an effect that I'd never really paid attention to before.
Well, I think you... Well, I think you've said something which makes me think the opposite in a way, because I think that decaf coffee is a substitute in a way that low alcohol beer isn't.
You mean it's a good replacement?
I think it's okay,
Yeah.
I think someone could conceivably give you decaf coffee and you might not notice.
Yeah.
But I think I'd always notice with a low alcohol beer.
Yeah, I've had some zero alcohol craft like pale ale that I was really surprised by. It was all right.
Have you ever had it? Have you ever had it on tap?
No.
On the rare occasion when you find, I had a what are they called? I think they're called the Big Drop. Is a kind of quite big low alcohol company,
right?
And I went to a pub once, and they had it on keg, I guess, and that made a big difference. It had all the fizziness, the liveliness to it.
Yeah.
And that got a lot closer to fooling me.
No, I'm not really a big deal doing without the beer. I've still got some whiskey at home. I've had like little glasses of that. But yeah.
Hold on. What do you consider you're doing here? Do you consider you're giving up booze and coming down?
Well, if it stops me having palpitations, then I'm cutting back massively. Don't think I'm giving up. But maybe I'm only drinking beer when I'm out of the house, which means not very often. Also, it's really cheap to not drink.
Yeah.
We've got to see how it goes, see what happens, really. But no, it's not been
sort of like trying to take a very passive role in this conversation because
you're allowed to say, "Oh my God, how can you?"
No, I don't think I. No, but I just don't. I don't think I do want to say that. You know, I think you know, I think I am. I think I am clearly a functioning alcoholic, and I think it would be great for me to drink less. And I'm sort of. I think like my reaction would be that, you know, in the past, oh, you're no fun or what. I don't know what my reaction would be. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think like in some ways there's like, I think in the past there's almost been a romanticizing of that, you know. I mean, maybe I just, but me just saying I'm a functioning alcoholic is me sort of turning it into a little bit of a joke. And I think I probably am a long way off of giving up booze, but I consider it in a way that I never used to.
Right.
And I think it would be interesting if I got a doctor's warning, you know, as to whether I could do it or not.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I don't drink that much. I never drank every day. But this coincided with me being on 2 weeks annual leave whilst at home, so we hadn't gone anywhere. Becky was still working, and whenever I'm on annual leave and I'm just at home, it's kind of every night's a weekend, isn't it? And it's great, I can stay up late. Every day's a weekend for you anyway, Darren, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think you sort of hit on a truth there. I think you're right. I think every day is a weekend for me. There isn't, you know, a strict reason for me to do anything on any particular day. I mean, apart from the fact that I do, in general, have to, you know, I have to work. If I stop doing all the things I do, then I wouldn't be able to pay the mortgage.
Yes. Yeah. But it's not something I'd do out of choice. Just in terms of, I think I need to cut down. It was definitely a doctor thing. And my thing with booze is not that I drink all the time. It's that if I do have a drink, say I'm at home, if I've got six beers in and I'm at home, then I try to drink them all that night. Whereas more sensible people would just have a couple.
Yeah.
So but anyway, we'll see where it takes me. So,
what have you watched on the telly lately?
Well, funnily enough, there is a kind of all this talk about hard drinking ties in nicely with the Sweeney, what I watched on Friday night.
Yeah, and I watched the same. It's Sunday now, and I watched the same episode as you.
Yeah,
just now. Our idea is kind of to do two Brentwood Tuxedo episodes about John Thaw, and so you're a big Sweeney fan, and I'm a big Inspector Morse fan.
Yeah. The John Thaw double bill, it's what YouTube's been waiting for.
Yeah. And we wonder why we're not picking up viewers. Except actually, I mean, at one point, I mean, I think more so even than the Sweeney at one point in Inspector Morse was at one point incredibly popular, like really massive, like a phenomenon at one point.
Yeah, was.
And I was struck by how different the characters were watching the Sweeney. I was struck by how Regan is nothing like Morse.
No, not at all. But literally all they've got in common is the job and the fondness of a pint.
There's that, I suppose, isn't there? I've got a feeling that John Thaw was more like Morse. I think he was quite a bit posher than he comes over in the Sweeney. I think that's closer to what John Thaw was like. I think.
Yeah. John Thaw from Manchester, wasn't he?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think he was.
I can't sometimes think with these things I should spend a half hour on Wiki before we come on, but then maybe I should. But maybe it should just be like what we reckon.
He's from Manchester, Gorton. Not that posh, don't think. Well, though back then in the 40s, not sure. But there is, in the early episodes of Sweeney, I think you do find out that Regan is actually from Manchester. Cheery was stationed up there.
Right.
And maybe I don't know where they do that because his accent slightly wavers occasionally. I'm not sure. Doesn't waver that much, but there's the odd moment where I realise, especially in the opening of this episode where he's doing a speech to himself.
Yeah, that was a really odd thing, wasn't it?
It's really odd. It doesn't seem to have anything in common, like any connection to the rest of the episode, does it?
No, it doesn't. And in general, what I enjoyed about it, which I think is what I enjoy when I often watch something from the 70s or 80s, particularly TV, but it does apply to film as well, but less so to film, is a certain naivety about lots of parts of it. I mean, I expected it to have a lack of sophistication, but it's interesting in how, I don't know, there's lots of things. Actually, there's a mixture of things, actually. There's a mixture of sophistication and a mixture of naivety. The one thing that I thought about it, and is quite often with these cases, that there's just not much plot in it, really. And what plot is there is constantly revised.
Yeah.
And I think the reason for that is that when they're making TV, then they're almost like making TV that they don't think is going to ever be rewound or paused.
That's right. Yeah.
I think they're thinking like somebody will go out and make a cup of tea in this at some point. So we've got to cater for them. And so characters are constantly reiterating the plot so far.
Yeah.
And the plot...
Would you like to tell us the plot?
I don't know if I could actually now. Actually, having said that, I also found myself not really following it. It just seemed like basically a chain of people. Oh, it wasn't him, but it's him. But so-and-so says it was him, but it wasn't him, but so-and-so says it
exactly.
It seemed essentially a chain of people.
Yeah, so the episode was Messenger of the Gods. And that's inspired by because the someone has stolen a big shipment of mercury. Destined for laboratories, I think, and thermometers, and it's worth a lot of money. Was it 30 grand, something like that?
Yeah.
And so our heroes, Regan and Carter, pull in local likely lads, Luke Sparrow, and because they reckon they've had a tip off that he was involved in it, and
from Carter's snout.
Yes, Carter's super snake, isn't it? Carter's snake tells them that Luke Sparrow's involved. So part of the police portion of the show is them trying to prove that he was involved, and being, as you say, being passed on from person to person, saying it wasn't me, but it's someone's missus who Lukey has been having relations with. She can tell them another name, and eventually they find out he was involved, and it was done by a proper hard man, proper London gangster. And I'm going to do the soap opera side of it in a minute, but as a result of this London gangster being involved, the gangster finds out that, assumes that Lukey Sparrow's the one who's given the tip off. And so the police, whilst also looking for Lukey Sparrow, have now got to try and save him from getting properly done over by this gangster. And at you can tell us, though, tell us what happens alongside all that police work, because this is kind of the best bit.
Well, there's a wedding storyline, isn't there? And there's a storyline with Lukey Sparrow's mother-in-law to be, where she sort of intimidates Regan and bosses him about, and so she's what you might call, I don't know, a brassy character. I mean, it's
battle axe.
Yeah, I mean, there's a. It just wouldn't be made, would it? I mean, if you were sort of playing sort of woke bingo or something, I mean, it would be going on all the time, wouldn't it? I mean,
a little bit, yeah.
Oh, a little bit. I mean, I was thinking about how to broach this subject when we were talking about it, because I don't ever want to come over as, you can't say anything these days, you know. I really don't want to give that impression.
No.
But at the same time, people did and do talk like they talk in the Sweeney. And are we to never portray them again? You know. But yeah, the treatment of women or the portrayal of women in this episode was not most multi-dimensional, was it?
No, it wasn't. No, they were either a battle axe or a dolly bird.
And the idea that Lukey Sparrow had some almost like, you know, superhero ability to attract women. I mean, you know, there's one scene where
he did look like the singer from Smokey.
He did, yeah. He was impossibly blonde.
Yes. So what's the deal with so this very strong woman is Lukey's future mother-in-law, and she's concerned that they've got a wedding rehearsal on the same day that Regan and Carter have pulled Lukey in for questioning.
Yeah, yeah.
And she storms down to the station and gives Regan a proper mouthful. And it's really funny how Regan's kind of met his match.
Yeah.
This hard cop. He's really struggling to placate her.
At one point, she just says, "Don't shout at me," and he stops.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
But I think also it's who plays the mother-in-law.
Oh, did I miss something here?
Yeah.
See, I can tell you some people I noticed in it.
Do you not know who the mother-in-law was?
No, sorry.
Oh God, it's Diana Dors.
Oh, I did miss that totally. I missed that totally.
Adamant's mum.
I noticed several people from EastEnders in it.
Yeah, no, that episode. Yeah,
the cabbie driver,
cab driver,
Eddie Royal, the
Eddie. Yeah,
the second landlord of the Queen Vic was in it.
That's right.
And both of those character actors, they're the sort of actors that seem to stay the same age all their life.
Yeah, you're right.
Like they're sort of playing sort of an indeterminate 40-year-old man, and then they are again 20 years later.
Yeah,
they seem to constantly exist somewhere in their 40s or 50s. Whereas I expect the truth of it is that they were probably in their 30s when they did that Sweeney.
Yeah,
Sweeney.
Yeah. Sweeney is a great show for what I call him offs.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you watch it and go, that's him off that. Oh, that's him off that. That's her off that. Yeah. And it's I mean, I think I counted 4 him offs in this episode. Which is pretty good. Pretty good. So mentioning Diana Dors, I think she's brilliant in this. I think she's really funny. She's obviously loving it. But you remember we drew Diana Dors' lawnmower?
I believe Diana Dors' lawnmower remains unsold in my Etsy shop.
Right. Well, I don't know why. Well, if you get a chance to look at your screen now, I'm going to show you. That's what I painted. Yes. It's the same. That's exactly from that episode, isn't it?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm being very dim this week. Sorry.
So what a coincidence that I should draw that, and then we.
But you didn't know that you were drawing her from that episode, really?
No, I had no idea. No. So, the Sweeney for me. Did you ever see it as a kid? Because I didn't really see it.
I don't think I did, and I think there's sort of something curious about nostalgia in this way, because I think often what we're sort of now nostalgic for sometimes is the thing we just miss. The thing that was slightly, if me or you had an older brother, the older brother would have been staying up late and watching the Sweeney. And I'm sort of aware of it, but like I use this word a lot. It has a sort of, the Sweeney has a slightly sort of illicit air to it. It's kind of naughty and risque and past my bedtime.
Yeah.
And I think that was also a surprise in watching this, to sort of discover actually it's got moments of comedy. And I mean, you know, it's not that hard to watch, is it? I mean, it's sort of a lot of running about, isn't it? You know,
yes.
It's not. I don't know.
There was
it's not quite as gritty as I thought. They mentioned sort of, at one point they mentioned kneecapping, but I don't think you ever see anything like that in it. I think all that happens is people punch each other.
Yeah. The only moment that I cringed at was they threatened a woman with saying that her husband was gonna beat her up when he gets out of prison.
Right.
And it was quite a cruel moment.
Yeah.
Quite a hard moment. And there are, in other episodes, it can be a lot harder.
Right.
And more brutal. This was the last series. I think it was 1979. And I wonder if they toned the hardness of it down because it had got more and more popular.
Yeah. Yeah.
I suspect that may be what they did. Because also in that series, there's an episode with Morecambe and Wise in it.
Playing themselves?
Playing themselves, yeah. And it's it's out and out comedy for the whole series. And in that same year, John Thaw and Dennis Waterman were on the Morecambe and Wise show. I think it was like, well, you can, if you do our show, will you do when we come on yours? So yeah. But it's had a whole variety of great actors starring in it. Warren Mitchell was in one. Oh God, getting them all now. June Brown was in it. Dot Cotton.
That rings a bell. It rings a bell that I might have even seen a clip of that at some point.
Big fan of it. 2 theme tunes.
Oh yeah, the sad oboe theme at the end.
Yeah, yeah.
I was trying to do a thing on this on Twitter recently, wasn't I? I was trying to, because I still don't think that was a very successful thread. I was trying to get people to remember sort of weird, melancholic TV themes. And I think it was around the time we were starting this, because we were talking about this with Hill Street Blues and also Taxi.
Yes, yeah.
And yes, the closing outro music of the Sweeney is odd and sad.
What else is there? The Incredible Hulk had a sad one at the end as well, didn't it?
Yeah, just a little piano tune, isn't it? A little sort of minor key. Well, they were treating the Hulk's condition as a curse, which they did do for a little bit in the Marvel films. They sort of like, he was running away from it, unable to deal with it.
Right.
But now they've just sort of stopped that, and they're like, oh, I love being the Hulk.
These brushes I'm painting with are knackered. And it's really difficult to work with them.
I'm not sure whether... I don't know. I don't want to admit that expensive brushes are better, although I'm sure they are. But I'm so bad at taking care of them.
Yeah,
and I am aware
of
acrylic. Yeah. Well, acrylic just destroys them, doesn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's almost like you have to buy brushes for a painting with acrylic.
Yeah, I think I may need to. I certainly need some new ones.
Interesting that both main actors, would you say both? I would say that both the main actors in the Sweeney even though they might well at that point thought that they were at the height of their stardom, both become much more famous for something else afterwards.
Yeah.
But they both get a brilliant second act. Yeah.
Of course, you're talking about Home to Roost, aren't you?
Home to Roost and what's the other one? What's the other one that he was in?
Oh, On the Up.
No. Home to Roost, but I'm thinking about Waterman. What's the thing? You mentioned it the other day. It's got
Which actor are we talking about?
Talking about Dennis Waterman. It's when they
New
all
Tricks.
have. Yeah, thank you.
New Tricks.
I don't know that I've ever seen an episode of New Tricks.
Oh, it's good.
It's kind of like Last of the Summer Wine in every way. Actually. I'm going to say it's like Last of the Summer Wine crossed with, and then I was like, no, it's just kind of like Last of the Summer Wine, isn't it? It's just
it's more of a drama retirement home rather than a comedy retirement home.
But I reckon it must be really fun casting New Tricks to think, hold on, I reckon this guy's old enough to be in New Tricks now.
Yeah. Nicholas Lyndhurst was a bit of a curveball.
You think he was still too sort of fresh-faced to be in the New Tricks cast, do you?
Yeah, I'm wondering if he'll ever not be fresh-faced, though.
So obviously I am drawing... I don't know. I was trying to do a little bit of research as to what... I don't think they strictly had the same car all the time. But sort of trawling about on the internet, I seem to get the idea that this sort of orange Granada was possibly their most used or iconic, or the one that screams Sweeney to you.
See, yeah, it's interesting. They generally appeared to have someone driving for them as well, so they never really had their own car.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I don't know whether it's because of in the plot for this one, they're picking up like just a local Jack the Lad, really. And I'm wondering if the flying squad would ever be bothering with characters like that.
Oh, well, I was wondering whether, like, the flying squad, I mean, does it exist still?
I don't think it does. Never hear it mentioned.
But
I'm not quite sure what it is.
My understanding of what the flying squad was as a kid was it was policemen that are allowed to use guns.
Right.
Is there a more nuanced explanation of what a flying squad is than that?
You generally don't see them use guns in the Sweeney.
Maybe I'm wrong then. Maybe that's not like that. Okay, let me do that research then. Especially as I've done a real quick one. Let me see.
I'm kind of running out of steam on this one. Been so long since I painted in acrylic. I've kind of forgotten what I'm doing. And the brushes aren't helping. Really hate the brushes.
The Flying Squad is a branch of the Serious and Organised Crime Squad within London's Metropolitan Police Service. It's also known as the Robbery Squad, Specialist Crime Directorate 7. Well, now there's a name for a TV series. It is nicknamed Sweeney, an abbreviation of Cockney rhyming slang, Sweeney Todd. And it says it is. So yes, I think it's clearly saying that it does still exist.
Right, yeah. See, this thing, serious organised crime. I suppose the robbery thing's why they're investigating it, because of the that 30 grand's worth of mercury's been stolen.
Yeah, well, we'll let them have it.
Yeah.
But it did seem also like they were sort of, I don't know, it seemed like they were playing it both ways, because people were saying, oh, Regan, you always borrow, you know, they seemed like petty criminals seem to know them.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. There's an interesting thing with the Sweeney. You probably get it with a lot of cop shows that the criminals and the police all know each other, and they're all kind of playing the same game. They're just on different sides, aren't they? And it's strange how they there are even episodes where you see them going drinking together,
right?
And they're all kind of not friendly, but all well aware of each other and what they do and who they are and that.
This goes quite well with my painting of my Ford Cortina.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
I think I've always thought of the Ford Granada as the more manly Cortina. I'm getting quite pleased with my ability to draw sort of paint reflective surfaces at the moment.
Well, I think it comes with practice. You've been doing a lot more of that.
Yeah.
Certainly, since we started the channel even, I think.
Yeah. I also think these car pictures actually look a little bit better with out backgrounds in them. I think they look a little bit more like, I don't know, a model car just sitting there.
Yeah. Well, mine probably needs a background, but I'll tell you what, I'll do one quickly.
I think you should. I'm sort of quite pleased with the. I think I'm quite pleased with the for once being the first finished. It's also quite nice to have the ability to just sort of look at it and just think, is it finished?
Yeah.
And
which is like sometimes a curse.
Sometimes it's a curse. Sometimes you fuck it up.
Yeah. Look, I'm glad I'm putting this background on there. I like this colour.
Yeah, that's great. I feel like that kind of having something in front is a little unlike you. Like to have a foreground and a background. To have Dennis clearly behind those two talking.
Yeah, I think it's just that when I'm painting a screenshot, it just, the composition isn't mine, is it?
No, well, that's an interesting one, actually. No, it isn't, but... No, it isn't, but I mean, there's sort of a million screenshots you could have taken from that one episode.
Yeah. Yeah,
but for you to do one scene from a potential million possibilities, it kind of is your composition, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I've made that decision to paint that, and I remember watching the episode when that came up. I knew straight away that's what I was going to be painting.
Yeah.
And all I had to do was get on ITV's terrible online player today and try and find it again.
God, yeah, it took me an hour I'm never going to get back to finally get
It's awful. ITVX, come on, sort it out, ITV. It's rubbish. Like they not
also,
just
you know what?
the BBC said, "Can we have your iPlayer, please?"
But you know why a lot of them are doing well? I'm starting to think the ones that are doing well are just the ones that remember where you are. Channel 4 is like that. You go in to just like watch a program you're watching 10 minutes later and it goes, oh no, I have completely forgotten what you're watching, what series, what episode it was. Find it again. And I think like Netflix is really good at just going, want to finish watching this? It's like, yes, I do. Thank you very much.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I've got them all on DVD. I could have just pulled it out the drawer unit.
I have got all of Morse on DVD, and I think even if it is on ITV, I think I might just enjoy for once putting a DVD in a DVD player because I feel like I never.
There we go. Well, I'm finished. The short
too.
one.
Yeah, but it's okay.
It is. The Sweeney. The Sweeney. The Sweeney.
The Sweeney. The Sweeney. The Sweeney. The Sweeney. The Sweeney.
Sweeney, the Sweeney, the Sweeney.
That's going to be really hard. That's going to be really hard in Inspector Morse. I'm going to put some thought into how I sing Inspector Morse over the Inspector Morse theme tune.
Oh God, yeah, that's a good point. Very good.
Very good. Very good, both of us. Short and sweet Sweeney episode.
Yeah.
Bye, Darren.
Bye, Darren. You slag.